In this video, we're going to be exploring the basics of using a sustain pedal with your keyboard. Most keyboard controllers have a sustain input jack that will take a sustain pedal. As long as your pedal is switched to the correct polarity for your keyboard, once connected it should behave so that notes ring out with the pedal held down and are cut off when you release the pedal back up. Some pedals can be switched to suit. Here you can hear the difference between playing a note without the pedal pressed and playing a note with the pedal pressed. The main purpose of the pedal isn't to make your playing louder, but to prolong notes while your hands are moved away from the keyboard in readiness to play the next note or chord. This makes for a smoother transition between notes and chords, but you need to be careful not to overdo things, as it can get messy. To illustrate, here's a full-on two-handed piano part played with no pedal. Now here's the same piece with the pedal held down all the time. The status of the pedal, which is basically an on-off switch, is shown in this editor window at the bottom of our DAW's piano roll editor. As you can hear, it all gets a bit much, especially in the low end. The answer is to use a compromise between the two approaches. Use the pedal sparingly, but effectively enough to enable a smooth transition between chords. Usually, lifting it up in the fraction of a second before you play the next chord in a sequence is the way to go. As it's a continuous controller in your DAW, you can touch up any mistakes or overhangs in the MIDI editor. As well as closing up gaps between chords, sustain is also useful for things like flourishes, big finishes, and swanky cocktail bar arpeggios up and down the keyboard. Check out this example of a Rick Wakeman-esque arpeggio played with and without the sustain pedal. It works here because all of the notes are versions of the same chord, just played in different octaves. The sustain pedal isn't just reserved for piano parts though. It'll have the same effect on 99% of other keyboard sounds too. Hammond organ patches are the exception, in which case it usually controls the rotary speaker speed. Use it to create eerie, sustained, plonky textures, or to smooth the transition between chords in a pad part, for example, like the one shown here.